I'm telling them that I can't breathe. Clearly he don't give a damn about my plea. His ancestors used to hang us on trees. Today they identify as road police. You see I'm black, for that I'm a threat to America. My rise is their fall and their fall is evident. Blood on your hands is heavier than an elephant. Open up America's closet and see skeletons. They killing us.
20th, and this is Reignite Sandy Speaks. Again, welcome to my channel. If this is your first time here, thanks for coming. Please subscribe. And if you're a returning viewer, I so appreciate you more than you know. Please share this video. You know, my goal is to document the inequalities in this country. And I want to document specific incidents. I want to get to a place where much of the country is aware of Reignite Sandy Speaks and also wants to participate. Today I want to talk about California though. And previously I said to the you guys in previous videos early on, maybe like 2021, I said that I wanted to focus on a few states. And that might change as I go on. I'm just like, I don't live in these states. And the fact is we don't know the true extent of these incidents and occurrences because they're so covered up. And sometimes it's just so hurtful you don't even want to talk about it. You know, to give you an example, the young black girl who was attacked by the white student at a college. I forgot what state it was. You guys forgive me. I want to say Colorado or Wisconsin or something like that. You guys remember the little girl with a white girl like attacked her and called her the N-word? On that video, I have footage of the mom being interviewed and the mom saying she didn't want to talk about it. She was not trying to bring it to the forefront. And I think her primary concern was she didn't want her daughter to be seen in that light or to experience that. And then she recognized how it actually helped her daughter and helped others. I do believe that this happens a lot more than we know. I think we're only, the things that we do know about is probably a very small percentage, probably less than 20% of what is actually occurring in this country. So again, today I want to talk about California. And so let me say this to you. My primary goal is to document the inequalities in this country. I believe that we need federal legislation that's going to protect black people. I think we need to update to the Civil Rights Act. I think it's 1964, the Civil Rights Act. And I think that it needs to be a specific update that's specific and concise in the verbiage. Because a lot of times what y'all say, the Constitution wasn't written for us. This system is not for us. And y'all got to stop saying that because this is our country. We built this MF, okay? So when you say the Constitution wasn't written for us or this country is not for us, family, this is our country. And so if it's not for us and it's not working in our favor, and I do recognize the forces, but what it indicates to me is that we need to work harder and we need to do more, okay? So today I want to talk about California. And why do I want to talk about California? I want to talk about California for multiple reasons. When I first started this channel, again, my goal was to get legislation. Recently, maybe about a year ago, I found out about the reparations movement. And wait a minute, you guys, the air conditioning is coming on, so I'm going to pause and then I got to cut it off. Just a moment, okay? My apologies about that, you guys. Okay, so let me get focused on what I want to talk about. I want to talk about the issue with anti-black attitudes and behavior, specifically in California. And so when I talk about the anti-black discrimination, oppression in California, I want to briefly talk about reparations. I hesitate to mention reparations because that's a topic in itself. What I'm talking about on this specific episode of Reignite Sandy Speaks relates to reparations, it's probably making more of a case for why reparations is necessary and needed in the state of California. Also, California is an anti-black state, like literally anti-black. And I think it's very important that the country knows about it, because I think frequently it's the belief that California is very liberal. Until you conservative, y'all be like, yeah, y'all people, y'all Democrats, y'all liberal, y'all ruining the state, y'all, liberals are supposed to be for everybody. Liberals are supposed to care about every nationality, creed, color, gender, whatever. That's supposed to be the liberal party. And so just intuitively or ideally, you would think, okay, it's not a lot of racism there. But that's not true, you guys. California is strongly anti-black. I grew up in New York City. I lived in North Carolina. I traveled in the South. I've never been in a more racist state in my life. California is very racist. And the reason why it continues to be racist, or black people are harmed or their civil rights are violated, because it's covered up, that it's not being exposed. Previously, I said that I want to focus on a few states, Minnesota, Texas, and Colorado. I want to talk briefly about Colorado. I think there's a strong anti-black sentiment in Colorado, but I also think that there are anti-racist community or entity in Colorado. I think there's some good white folks in Colorado who are not a party to the racism. And to be quite blunt, I think there's a community or I don't know how to say the community or the white people that are in Colorado was where my baby Elijah McClain was murdered. Okay, y'all know that that's like my kid. Okay, so that's really hard for me. Okay, to get to the point, is that California is racist. It is, to me, it's the most anti-black state in this country, and I think it's so severe and so prevalent because of the foundation, the law enforcement, specifically the judicial system, and the government. In another series that I'll talk about later, I'm going to document how racism is prevalent in the state of California. Regarding reparations is founded on the idea of slavery, that we built this country, and that that the country benefited from slavery, and there's a lot of white wealth that was created through slavery. And I'm so on board with that. I know that specifically. I also think that black people were specifically harmed. I think that a lot of things go on in the government where it's socially engineered to harm black people. And my long 4-minute introduction is to talk about California and the anti-black attitudes, behaviors, and how it's acceptable. So there's a reparations task force that is investigating the harms started by slavery, and how black people have been harmed economically, socially, right? What I believe, my issue is, if you don't like black people, you don't have to. This is a wonderful country. This is a great country where we have rights. You have a right to not like. If you say, I don't like black people, you can say, I don't like black people. Okay? What you can't do is you can't harm us, our civil rights. You can't violate our civil rights. You can't deprive us of our right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. You can't do like civil torts against us, okay? And the problem is that the attitudes and the consciousness is that it's okay to harm black people. And this big introductory that I just go on and on about because I'm really offended. And I'm just going to be very honest. Some family, y'all think, it's America. This is what my son be like, Mom, what you expect? Family, I don't expect it. I don't expect racism. I don't expect you to harm me and do bad things to me because I'm a black person. Okay? It exists. And you might think, well, you're fooling yourself. It is harmful to us that we have to go on in this country, in this state, knowing that it's a force, an entity that want to harm us just because we was born black. There's a whole psychology of that. So my intellectual mind tells me, don't assume that they're going to try to harm you. When I've been harmed, my whole life, it's like any other black person, I've been influenced, affected, harmed by racism in this country. Okay? But I'm not at a place where it's acceptable. And so today I'm going to talk about California. And I want to relate it to reparations, but it's hard for me to talk about reparations because it opens a whole door and it's a whole different topic. There is a California task force that is researching the effects of racism. And this whole lead up is to say that California is anti-black. And it's rooted in the fabrics of California. And I'm going to demonstrate to you how prevalent it is that the attitudes in this state is anti-black. And I'm going to begin by putting this video in here. Y'all check this out.
Marlene Reynoso's daughter is a student at Pepper Tree Elementary School in Upland, California, where she says racial bullying began with these cards, then continued verbally. But this wasn't happening just to her child.
That our daughter was told that she was going to get one too, that it was going to be a slave hanging from a tree and say that you're my favorite slave.
There's what I thought were clouds, but it says cotton. Like, it was very detailed, very specific.
They're made out of crayon. Okay, family. So what happened in Upland, California, I'm not far from Upland. Upland, California is the suburbs of Los Angeles. It's probably about 45 minutes east of downtown Los Angeles, maybe about 45 minutes east. Maybe to 60 minutes as the most, depending on the traffic. What do you guys think about that? Like, you guys, I had kids. My kids are adults. They're grown. They went through the school system here in California. Actually, Upland is really not very far from where my marital home was. My daughter probably played basketball against schools in Upland. But I'm just always in shock. Because, like she said, it was in crayon. This was an elementary school. Think about an elementary school where kids are 7, 8, and 9. What kind of attitudes? First of all, the main issue with that is that these kids under 11, because it's elementary school, were comfortable saying this to another student. I'm going to put it in here. They made cards, and the cards were for Black History Month. It says, "You're my favorite monkey." And so, I know I'm always so damn dramatic because I still just be in awe, like, what the fuck? Who teaches their children this kind of stuff? And this is the point that I'm making. California is anti-black. And if we're seeing this in the elementary school. Like, you guys, I just, can we just like seriously talk about this? This happened in an elementary school. The lady says it was done with crayons. So elementary school kids says, well, we're gonna make a black history card for our black friend, and we're gonna put cottons and monkeys on it. Where they hear about cottons and monkeys at elementary school? I gotta stop being so damn melodramatic, right, you guys? But this is the point that I'm making. That California is anti-black. And that as black people in this state, we need protection. We need legislation that is specific and concise, that's going to protect us, because it is so prevailing in this state that we need protection. Here, I'm going to put this other video in here. Let y'all see this one. Check this one out.
This mother says after feeling ignored, she's left with no choice but to demonstrate outside her daughter's school in Santa Ana and pull her 10-year-old out of the school district.
They're sweeping underneath the rug.
Jasmine Harris is talking about an incident on March 1st at Santiago Elementary School. Her 5th grader Paris Barnes was playing with her friends at lunchtime when she says a classmate whipped a jump rope towards her and told her, quote, "Get back to work, you slave."
It was very disrespectful, and I just felt really hurt inside.
I want the little boy to get expelled.
Harris tells Eyewitness News because the other student involved is a minor. She went to the Orange County District Attorney's Office to press charges against him, hate crime, and attempted assault on a minor. A spokesperson with the OCDA's office says they can't comment on cases involving a juvenile.
I'm not really comfortable going back to school because I don't know if he'll do it.
Okay, so with this one, you guys, I watch this stuff when I put it in here, and I know my attitude, like, I'm not good at hiding how I feel, because this is just really very upsetting, because this is a child. And as I sit here and I think, should I express my anger, dissatisfaction, hurt, disappointment? Yeah. Because when you don't, this is what's happening. We're becoming desensitized to it. So what happened was the little boy went up to her with a jump rope and said, "Get back to work, slave." And you know, I have more footage of when the mom reports it and the teacher's reporting it to the cop, and she says he's doing it, that he playfully said to her, "Get back to work, slave." How is that playful? And see, this is what I'm talking about. This is why, how this behavior, this attitude, this belief, this anti-black belief is rampant in California. Because I don't know, is it when she says, I'm gonna put it in here too, because it's kind of like 2 minutes, maybe I'll cut it in half. When she says the teacher, so what happens is, I've got footage of the mom reporting it to the police. She calls the police. And the teacher's explaining to the cop what happens. And the teacher says he playfully. First of all, who gave the description of playful? When she told on him, or whoever, when the kids told her, I don't think anyone said he did it playfully. You know, I'm really angry about the word playfully. Okay? Because again, that is more supporting evidence that this racism is rampant in California, and it's okay. It's acceptable. You guys, I get so angry because, again, I grew up in New York City. I lived in North Carolina. I lived in Atlanta too. I have never experienced racism in any state like I have in California. This is another elementary school where this is happening. And so let me tell you about this one. This woman names, and you know, I followed her on Twitter because I don't want her to give up on this, because I think it's she needs to follow through. Because there needs to be repercussions for this. Because this is what I'm saying to you guys. We're not going to stop them from not liking us. We're not going to stop them from hating us, having their attitudes or behavior towards us. but it is not acceptable. That kid should get expelled. He needs to get expelled or severe suspension and repercussions. So the mom name is Jasmine Harris. If I can find her Twitter account, I'll show you it up here. Because I think I think I stumbled upon her on Twitter. And the little girl's name is Paris Barnes. And family, I just want you to think about this. If you're 10, 11 years old and you're in school and a kid takes a jump rope and says, "Get back to work, slave." Like this, it's appalling. You too. I'm a black person and I was born this way. And I'm very happy to be black. Okay? I'm very proud. I wouldn't want to be anything but my black ass self. But I'm not a racist. I don't have negative behavior towards a different race because it's a different race. I just think that is so barbaric and savage. And so again, this video is demonstrating the racism in California. I really want to follow this. Apparently, she's trying to file charges. Oh, you know what else? You know what, you guys? She hit the superintendent up on Instagram. Here, let me put this on here. The superintendent blocked her on Instagram. This is how brazen they are in California. Family, we're not in California. I think Texas is racist to say. I think Texas is racist too. But I lived in North Carolina. I lived in Georgia. I never had this kind of treatment or attitudes or behavior in my life. And it's so offensive. Family, if you're in California or you're in Los Angeles, please subscribe to this channel. I really need more. If any kind of incident of racial discrimination, oppression, marginalization of your blackness, please share with me. So do I want to talk about reparations now? See, I'm kind of annoyed about this, you guys. Governor Gavin Newsom created a reparation task force, and it's headed by a young lady named Camilla Moore, who's kind of awesome. Okay, I've seen her, I've watched her. I'll share more about. I'm sorry, you guys. You know I do this late at night. I'll share more about her. But my concern is the motive. Gavin Newsom wants to be the president. So Gavin Newsom is creating a task force to study the effects of slavery. Okay? I'm very skeptical about Gavin Newsom because I understand America. I come from a corporate background. I understand politics. I understand strategies. I've done some polls about would you vote for Gavin Newsom? And when you hear that he created this task force to study the effects of racism for reparations, you think, oh, this is a white man who cares about the plight of black people, and he wants to do correct. He wants to undo or create offer some repair. But I follow him on Twitter, and he talks about everything from abortion to gun control. He talks about everything under the sun. I have never seen anything, maybe once, about black people and civil rights on his Twitter. When you feel strongly about something, you talk about it. And so the point that I'm making is that I don't 100% feel like his intentions are genuine. And be that as it may, it doesn't matter if they're genuine or not. I honestly, what I think, and that's why I want to get into this. I think racism is very expensive to the country and to individual states. And I think they do want to offer some kind of repair to try to undo some of the damage that's been done. And I don't think, just like slavery was abolished, it was not for the mankind. It wasn't for humanity. It was about economics. And so, family, I love you. And I'm an emotional person. I'm a Cancer. See my Cancer. See my Cancer. And I got Scorpio. I'm not a Scorpio, but I got Scorpio in the 4th house. Cancer is ruled by the 4th house family. And I got Scorpio in the 4th, so yeah. Anyway, y'all may not know about that. Where am I going with that? Where I'm going with this is that I'm emotional and I'm feeling, and I'm probably, water signs are probably a lot more feeling. We feel things deeper than other zodiac signs. So because I know that, I question how I experience the feeling of being oppressed in this country. If I see any person harmed, I have some kind of empathy towards that. But I just feel like we've been here for over 400 years, and they still try to harm us. And I think it's time that we do something. You know, I'm listening to this book called I'll put the I'm so sorry, you guys. I'm gonna wrap this up sooner. Oh, forgive me. Look, okay, I'm gonna try to do this without messing up a thing. Light without. I'm listening to this book called it's about reparations. It's called From Here to Equality, I think it's called. And I'm in the beginning, and he's talking about how immigrants came here and how other minority groups have advantages over us, from education to economic. And you guys, I really fear that when I point this out to you, that you develop, that my family, that black people that are watching and viewing this are going to have a sense of hopelessness, that this cannot be corrected. The social engineering is purposeful. They purposely try to harm us, just like when they used to whip us, is to be a submission or to deter us from addressing these issues. That little girl was in school playing, minding her business, and some little young white boy felt very comfortable whipping a rope at her and telling her to get back to work, slave. What kind of mentality is that? I'm telling y'all, California is a Jim Crow state. And I want the black people here to join me in this journey of liberation. Yes, I'm for reparations, but I want reparations in the form of restitution, in the form of a check. Most people are really, pay me, cut me my check, and we'll do that, to say the least. But family, there needs to be legislation. I don't want to talk too much about the reparations task force, but they're studying it, and I'm probably 80-90% believe that they're going to give reparations to California. And then and part of reparations is called non-repetition. And when I hear people talking about this in spaces, they say non-repetition in the way that saying so it will not repeat itself. And my understanding, that the racism, the harm does not continue. It doesn't repeat. But my understanding is non-repetition means that we have one bite at the apple. Once we do this reparations, that is done. And so if that's going to be the case, we need to maximize that. And so again, Reunite Sandy Speaks is to document the inequalities against black people that persist in this country, that this white supremacist collective conscience is prevailing and it is woven in the fabric of America. And California is one of the leading states of anti-black sentiment. I'm trying to hold back and not be all dramatic and shit. But one little girl in one school, Pepper Tree Elementary, I hope I'm saying that right, they felt comfortable to give a kid a card for Black History Month. They had a monkey and cotton on it. Then the other little boy whips a rope at a young girl and says, "Get back to work, slave." Y'all saw that little girl? That was a sweet, good little girl. You could see, she said, it hurt my feelings. And I don't feel comfortable going back there. And yeah, so guys, I wanna follow the story. So the little girl's name is Paris Barnes. Her mom's name is Jasmine Harris. She filed a complaint with the sheriff's department. I think I reached out to her on Twitter and possibly, I don't know her Instagram. She posted on Twitter where her the superintendent blocked her on Instagram. So if you guys know Jasmine Harris, can you ask her to keep us updated on the situation? Because they're going to do what they can to sweep this under the rug. And that's one of the big things that I want to make here, you guys. The reason why it's so prevalent in California, because it's always covered up. In my other series, I'm going to show you how many different departments that is the media, it's the news, LA Times, the news channels, the judges, the sheriffs, the Bar Association, judicial council judges, how all these different entities, without saying an unspoken word, that you can harm us and it's okay. And in the event that you are caught harming us, that is their mindset to cover up the harm that's been done to us. This is rampant in California. And California is supposed to be a blue liberal state. And I don't know, I'm a conservative. Liberal is supposed to mean that you love everyone or you want equal rights for everyone. I don't know. Okay, I'm a conservative and I don't have a racist bone in my body. I like everybody. I mess with Asian people. Like one of my good friends here is Indonesian, so it's original Chinese. I've got Korean. I'm cool with everybody. Okay, and so it's this misnomer that conservative means racist, and that's not the case. And that's again a narrative that is being perpetuated by the media and by the forces in this country. You know what, you guys, I know I've been talking too long. I didn't want to make this too long. I'm so tired, y'all. Listen, please subscribe to my channel. Please participate in the conversation. Please share my videos. If you know anything specifically about any of these incidents in Upland, or, the name of the school was Santiago Elementary School. And it's in Santa Ana, California. Santa Ana is in Orange County. Have you ever seen that movie, The OC, or The Housewives of Orange County? Santa Ana is in Orange County. I actually took a class when I moved here. I graduated from college in Orange County. And I took a class at a school called Rancho Santiago, which was in Santa Ana, California. And so, if you're in California, please subscribe to this channel. Again, I really want to get personal with everyone, with the subscribers. I'm thinking how to say this properly, and I just want y'all I want you guys to participate, because I feel like if I can get participation, that we can really make a difference. So listen, I'm the 20th, and this is Reunite Sandy Speaks. Y'all come fuck with me.
for killing us for jogging. Kill us in our homes and fabricate it and hide it. Where we had Sandra Bland's and Trayvon Martin's. If when you kill us, your family was a target. If your children was orphans, will you have compassion the next time you approach us? Yeah, we fed up, this is built up. Your city up in smoke, homeboy, we had enough. And I ain't Tyson, riots of violence heighten the climate. I'm saying you smack me, I'm punching you in your iris. Retaliation is prescribed in both Bible and Quran. In the matters of the slang, see an eye for an eye, especially if the Justice Department do not comply.